didn't want to kill it. Another mission. Can't do that, can't do that. Guess I'm gonna have to do the main quest. Can I not host my gun?
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing.
Spacer's choice. Oh, no, I don't want to steal. There's a lot of good stuff, but I'm not gonna steal. Oh, it's in this side. Same thing.
Any food, it cooks.
Yeah, but Bess, the cannery cooks in sealed cans. Exact time, exact temperature.
The food swells during cooking, bursting the cans. So change. Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do that.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you? I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. You're the first stranger to wander into town in an age. Scripture tells us that nothing happens without reason. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good Lord, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
My first companion.
You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Okay, let's go. Hi. Can we talk now?
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Got a sec?
You don't want to talk in front of him. Okay.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, get my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident. Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Okay, I'll do it.
The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it, on account of it being the only clean thing. About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all.
Couldn't hurt to try.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
Exactly.
That's what my dad used to say anyways.
You had a good dad. What is this? Vicar, okay. Oh, in here.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
I know how you feel.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or
Soto.
Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison. Anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
I'll be back. Gotta use the restroom.
I've never seen you before, and there's been no paperwork indicating a transfer. Half the time it's wrong, but a new worker without paperwork? Unheard of. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal. Pretty universal here. Except for Ms. Holcomb, who, for some reason, doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town. Yes, but there are few who hear me in this miserable place. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here. Yes, and thank you for pointing it out. It is wrong of me to succumb to distress. This place could be so much more, and I will continue in my quest to make it so.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked her to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
I know it isn't.
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Just for a book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
More side quests. Great. Provided.
Something you need? That's on account of how I never met her. It's hard to miss what you never knew. I don't ponder it over much. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
That's sad.
I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
I guess.
You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. Fixing the universe is a job for somebody way better than the likes of me.
Let's go. Wait a minute. So can I fix the machine now? No. Okay. Provided. Okay. Pistol and a hammer. Okay, that's what you want to go with. Can't fix that yet, can't do that yet. This will do it. I keep thinking if the guy who gave me the gun in the beginning, if he could be my companion. This way. Oh, the she'll jump at me. Ooh.
Here they come! That's the last of them!
No shits. Guy's dead. Ah, he's dead. Since you're dead, you won't be needing these, right? I'll take them all. Hopefully don't die on me. I'm charging him.
That's the last of them.
Oh, more health. Thank you. An LMG. Great. Thanks for the LMG. Okay, that's it. Alright. Move up.
Sure, on my way.
Wait, I've been here before. So you moved them. I don't miss anything because you know free is free.
Gotcha. Moving.
Oh, where does this go?
Sure.
Alright, let's go.
Where are we headed?
So you're continue following now? Okay, good. Where am I supposed to go now? Go back, okay. I can't, okay. Cave entrance. Here it is.
Nice one. Nice hit.
Where are you running off to?
We did it.
God damn, I love shotguns. The others are killed. I need to loot them. Here they are. So it's over here. That was a trip mine, I didn't know. Is that right? Oh, another trip mine.
Easy.
Companion perks. Okay, so I need what was it again? Stealth hack. Yeah, I need to hack. There, 30. And tech. Plan. No perk available. Yeah, 6% negative. What did I do? I think this one's important. Oh, let's head back. Ouch, I fucked up. Ooh, the crunching sound wasn't so good. Hello? Wait, since we're out here, should I do this one? Should have mapped it first right away, since it was along the way. I see.
Hey, that's impressive.
Now I could open it. Oh, so mag picks I used to. They're basically lock picks. Okay. Stun baton. back. Heavy. It's a lot of ammo. For body? Okay. Employment community. Mantis 1. So I was checking my phone. I forgot I have to choose who to give it to. This guy or this guy.
Somebody's been running around town raving about a colony ship. Plague must have gone into their brain matter. Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
It's a tough choice. I'll give it to her. Because she seems like a good person.
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types. You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you, I kept a little contingency fee in case you tried to negotiate with me. Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room?
Somebody's been running around talking about the Hope. Wonder if that's a new drug of some kind. You what? But why? I was depending on you. Does it feel good? Robbing an old man of his last shred of hope? Betray a man in his final hours? Of course, I understand. Well, I'd probably do the same to you, given the chance. So, you just here to watch me die, or what?
Sorry.
Where are we headed?
I feel bad, but I did what I had to do. Send lectures and give it to multiple people, which is good. Do I have the... tech? Oh, my tech's really low. Should we try it? So I think we can fix that robot, but I need a high tech level. I don't want to kill it if I don't have to. I just killed it last time because I didn't know I could receive it. Didn't give me an option. That side.
He ain't for it. But I could fix him up smart.
Okay, let's fix him then.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to.
Yes, let's fix him.
Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the way.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Nice video.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, this ammo. Adrenaline, this health.
Got it. Inside voices.
What's in here? I can sell those. Oh, that's about it. Let's go. Thought I saw something. Don't tell me this guy's gonna hate me too for fixing up that robot. Whatever. I did the right thing.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. I love living here.
Bring us honor, soldier. You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer. A weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical heart.
Are you gonna give me one?
Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years.
That'll be worth it.
Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
I mean, okay.
On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Okay, let's go. What would the others do? I know the Dawn makes her hold her position. Okay. Ludwig's bundle. So it's in here.
Something got you down? Nothing. Just don't. You're not a big drinker, are you?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
Not really. I'm just here to get
Only
the
McDevitt's folk
gun.
hadn't abandoned.
Nothing we can do about that.
I'm ahead.
Gee,
I don't want to stay if I don't have to. This is the restroom. It's over here. Secret weapon. What is this? Shit? We're gonna fling shit at robots. To be honest, I think he's harmless. I mean, he's crazy, but I don't think he could hurt anyone. He looks like he could. Oh, took the long way around.
Bring us honor, soldier. feast your eyes, soldier. This here's a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge. I call it the Hand of the Law. You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig. There's a workbench right through this door. Attach that unit to your favorite weapon and go forth into glorious battle. Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss, Reed Thompson. I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module.
This guy's insane.
Don't tell anyone, all right? I've got a contact. A real expert in the inner workings of the automaton. We are gonna rip those mechanical secrets right out of their circuits. Well, excuse me. What I meant was I'm going to get a contact. Didn't know I had to be all prissy about my grammar around you.
My bad.
There's the rub. If a mechanical breaks down, the logic module fries. So you can't rip one out of its course. You're gonna have to find an intact model somehow.
I don't reckon so. I work with gears and pistons and such. Stuff you can put hands to. Computers and mechanical brains are outside my ken.
You know, she names the mechanicals she fixes. Calls them Bess and Clancy and so on. Keep a careful eye on her. Could be a sympathizer.
You're insane.
If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
He's crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, huh? In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker? Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
Yeah, I don't make it a habit. It's like sometimes, like rarely.
It's not like I think it a failing, mind. It's just I live right across the road. Most nights I watch folks out my window. When they come in here, they might be happy or sad. Mostly they're tired. When they leave, they're mad at themselves. Or they stumble into the alley and I listen to their hearts breaking.
That's sad.
Maybe so. But we don't think on it that way.
Alright, let's continue. You're too nice. It's far. I'll do this. It's just companion quest, so I can get that guy as a companion. I don't think I want him as a companion though.
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you around here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the vicar is all. Whatever, sir, about...
Now you're standing.
Any progress on that matter we discussed? Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this... French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn. There is little more important than such a precious, rare text. I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted. Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death. The story of my life. Most lay people are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long, long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's how I ended up assigned prison duty, where I was fool enough to let an inmate bend my ear with stories of an original Bakonu journal. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew. Free spiritual counseling, someone to watch your back, not to mention a grown-up in the party.
I'm 28.
Exactly. I'm pretty handy with a toss-ball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well.
You're an asshole.
Well, understanding computers is, though I admit I took it further than most. And I was quite the 32nd back during my penitentiary term. Left many an opponent bleeding in the prison yard. Of course, I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. And any other you'll find in this colony, I joined the plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in politics. Then I came here. Satisfied?
Fuck. I'm thinking like you'll be subject matter blade, where most of the companions are not happy like with each other, so they will start leaving. I'll just bring him on. If it's a problem, I'll just remove him.
Fantastic. Let me get my things in order and I'll catch up with you.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery, and to leave this place behind. I shall see you on the ship, Captain, whenever you're ready to leave Emerald Vale.
Another companion, I see. It's okay. Oh, deliver that message? Oh wait. Let's just do the side quest first. $400. That's far. No? Map. Can I fast travel here? I just want to see if I can recruit the guard that helped me. $365, I'm even closer. Can I not mark my map? I'm gonna die here. You came out of nowhere. Whoa. They just came out of nowhere to whoop my ass. geothermal plant. Where's the botanical garden? Is it this? I think I'll do this first, deliver the message. Ah, it's pretty far.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Can we talk? I'm not here to fight.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
No problem.
You don't know what enough with the questions means? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Appreciate it. Honest. I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago, she was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about. Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does. She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skill as far as I can tell. Marauder gang just moved into the districts a little ways east. Their numbers are growing. Gotta come from somewhere. What is it?
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Keep your wits about you, Freddy.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Thomas, this guy.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
That's all they're gonna say. We are laid.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcome here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. We'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
Damn it, now I have something to do. Now I have two choices.
A hero to the people who matter. To us. To the ones who come around. To the ones you save. Reed will never understand. He has been too long inebriated on the wine of corporate culture. All he sees is productivity, output, profits.
Start hitting the 9:30.
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old now, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
That's really sad.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear. Of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
To be honest, I agree with her.
So, what do you say? Divert power over to us. Shut down that abominable cannery for good.
Is that third option?
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Base high. Walk speed.
Anything else I can do for you? I am getting old, you know. These two lamps of mine are not as bright as they once were. Or I might have seen you for what you are. My dear, we are all visitors in a momentary universe. Our lives flicker in and out like the guttering of a flame. Here now, then gone. Me and mine are just carrying on as best we can, trying to live our lives in a way that does not feel wasted. More of the colony felt the way you did, we'd have ourselves a proper revolution. I can't stop you from conducting your business down at the plant. I just want you to know that if you take our power away, you will have brought an end to our way of life. Not under Reed's watch. He and I would come to blows within a day, and he would never tolerate my tending to a garden. This is my home. It will be my home even if Reed cuts our power. Simple as that. If you think Reed does anything in good faith, then you are asking to be lied to. That's because Reed was my boss. I was the cannery's one and only flavor specialist, you see. Remember that limited run of white chocolate saltuna? That was all me. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine
enough reason to not trust him.
So I buried my boy in a cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Yeah, they need to be taken down.
A fish rots from the head down. I do not blame the town. I blame the leader.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with?
Too much candy.
You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
I just want to help, asshole.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Hey, I got time.
That's it. Where's our house here? Is it? One of the things are still a poster. Oh my god, stupid. She wanted to join the Marauders.
Something I can help you with? I'll help if I can.
It's nothing, no. She tried to join Marauders, really? Just try to see if I can... Let's see, get more on your side quests. Over here.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Chicken. What's here? To be honest, I don't think they're bad people. I think I'll help them. Oh, there's Thomas.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town. Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in mechanical.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. I wish I knew. I wagered the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the third's gone, I can't say. Would you? I'd be grateful. What's on your mind? Luck, mostly. Nothing's needed serious repairing yet. Nothing's broken down that we can't just replace with something scavenged from the outskirts. Oh, I can swap out a water filter or charge up a battery and go on pretending I know what I'm doing, but the moment I'm asked to do any real engineering, I'm in trouble. Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious. We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go. Mostly on account of my incompetence. I mean, I was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... I mean, we could really use... this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
Is there a faster way to get there? I guess not.
You're fast.
Whoa, I need those. I need an assault rifle. Where's the assault rifle? Oh, I didn't fire. Oh, it's iron sights. It's better than nothing.
I don't know where they came out this far.
Oh fuck, there's a trip mine, I wasn't paying attention. Wanna get up close and personal? Bring it.
We made it.
Looting, just looting. Don't mind me. Oh, revolver. Damn. So many good things to really find. LMG. I don't know which to keep and which to get rid of. Let's get out of here. Browse to check. Check every building, I guess. Excuse me. Armor parts. I always loot because what I can't use I can sell. I'll make extra money. That's how it is when I play video games like these. like I've been here before. Evicted. Evicted. Oh fuck! Trip mines. I probably should have went further from it. Let's see, health. Don't tell me she got mad at me for killing her bandits. I came here to save you, not fight you.
I wish I could do that.
Oh, you don't know how? Oh yeah. Trip mine.
What's this fish?
Huh?
This fish.
Mom said it's pork.
Pork? No fucking way.
Oh my god, no. Huh?
Is this really pork?
I don't know, but it tastes like crab meat to me. But I'll have to restart. Please no. How far back did they put me? I think I'm gonna have to fight the marauders again. The trip mines. I need to look on the ground. Oh, okay, it's not too far back. We're here and we're going this way. There are trip mines here.
Great work.
Thank you. Son of a... These freaking trip mines. Damn it, LMG, you're not accurate. This one right there. Yes, I'm the type of guy that just uses one bullet and then reloads right away. I think that's it. Now I'll talk to her. Just in case she tries to fight me, I'll be ready to blow her head off.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What? You mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. I'm great at clarifying. No? I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit.
Persuasion 100.
I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon. I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Also, he could carry on a conversation, unlike these hooligans. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
So are you coming with me or are you gonna go there yourself? I'm assuming you're going there yourself. Hey, I found
What
Zoe.
is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway?
You don't want to know.
You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
I got Zoe back.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands.
Hey Zoe. What are you bored here?
Huh? Home is where the heart is. Marauders took that saying a little too literally.
Parvati, what are you doing?
Yeah, huh? He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
Can do. Let's mark it on the map. Find the 3 volumes. Can I fast travel to one of them? There it is. It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. I swear I get insane every time I hear that fucking vending machine tone. Whatever you wanna call it. It's up there? Okay. What? Hello. Oh, I didn't loot you. Arigato. Hello, do you have anything? There's one there. Oh, there's only one in here, okay. Canid. Can I have one? A pet canid? I want one. Please tell me I can have one. Where's the next one? Loading map. So it's over here. Fast travel. The dissident hotel. Okay, I'll be careful. It's over this way. My gun's better than yours. Can we? But then we have to talk to Thompson. I guess I have to. Oh, I guess I don't.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead. It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post. I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. Looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that. I wish you wouldn't say things like that. Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do. This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Salt Tuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored salt tuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose. Yes, it is. And it's necessary. Spacer's Choice is a family. And the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent. Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude. And it is one we will see through to the end. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by. What with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world. Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate.
Yeah, you're an asshole. I'm not helping you.
Something you need?
Just wanted to talk to you, that's it. See if you had any more dialogue. Where is it at? It's up here? Oh, it's here. Where's volume 3 though?
Yeah, huh?
That probably has a third one. Let's do this next. Since there's no way we could find the other one. Power plant time. Is there a way in though?
I always wanted to poke around in here.
Now I can go through without a problem. It's covered where? this. Okay, I'll keep going ahead now. Corporate commander. I think there's gonna be enemies in here.
To the right. I hope we're doing the right thing. Got it? Inside voices.
Already? What's happening? Oh, there's another. Did I hit her body by accident? I'm sorry. Electrical. Oh, she survived. Hi. You okay?
Yeah. Huh?
I thought I shot her by accident. Let's not go out. Explore.
Oh, you got that?
was in here? The combat drone wanted to stop me from going through. Okay, so that's what the logic module is.
Done.
That's all there is in here. What's this one? Okay, that's locked. Can I open these? Office. Drone down there.
Process with.
We made it!
System. Searching for unknown.
Where? Behind. Stay away from poor body. Companion crit chance.
Diagnostics complete. Navigation systems operational.
Oh, it's Jeremy.
Combat systems operational.
Hello,
It's not
Jeremy.
the best choice. It's the spacer's choice. All systems fully operational. Return journey successfully completed. Spacer's Choice would like to thank you for complying with your duties. Hostile actions towards Spacer's Choice mechanics are contrary to logical directive. Conclusion: all hostile automechanicals must be defective in compliance with Spacer's Choice policy. All defective automechanicals must be permanently dismantled. Please allow me to assist. Mechanicide protocols loaded. Awaiting confirmation.
Yay, Jeremy. Don't die on us, Jeremy. Jeremy, the friendly robot. Friendly to us humans, but not to other robots. Bard. Hacking skill too low. How dare you, sir? There's more down there. How to go even lower?
Not real. You're not real.
Oh, there's Higgins. The guy with the last volume for engineering. Go, Jeremy.
No, just leave me alone.
Where is he at? I hear him. This is... Oh, I can hack this open. Lock it. Oh, workbench. It's my assault rifle. Grenade launcher. Hey. Now I have a zappy gun. Move this. Woohoo! That's gonna be good against these robots.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded. Okay, go quiet.
It's Jeremy.
Security threat eliminated.
Damn, Jeremy, you savage. Get me out of here. Oh, his head is gone. Can't I climb this? From the side? Okay. Okay, I don't know what I just did, but okay. Bored. So can I go through the steam now without problem? Can I turn it off though?
Not real. You're not real.
Sounds like he's down here. Hope I didn't need to jump.
No, no, no. Just leave me alone.
There it is.
Not real. You're not real.
Who are you talking to?
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot. Scram. Most people? But I'm the only one left. No. Remember your first rule, Higgins. No arguing with the phantoms. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorized me on occasion. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder.
You are insane.
Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy. Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out. Jimmy'd opened the vending machine. Braised, boiled, charred, skewered. Sprats are good eating, friend. Chock full of brain food. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. You mean, why did the mechanicals go on a murderous rampage? Same reason any of us do, I suppose. The voices told them to do it. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old...
It's quite the climb. there a way to get to it though? There's somewhere to get me out of here. I'm running around in circles. Oh, where's the other steam valves? There were more steam valves somewhere, I forgot where. I'm lost. You'll be fucking kidding me. Open it just like this. Oh, they'll kill each other, good. What was that? Tactical, you say? Oh ho ho! Ooh, I like that sound. Oh, I guess I'll just complete those 2 side quests first. And then I'll come back here to shut off the power. No, I was lost in there for a while. Oop, didn't mean to do that.
Bring us honor, soldier. Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes. I would reward you with the gratitude of the resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple of bits for your trouble, and a little something to remember me by.
Shock stick. Thanks. What's this? What's TNL? Let's go fast out to Thomas.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
I found all three.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Miss Parvati. I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
A mod. Thanks. Oh, you're looking at a workbench the whole time. Stealth is high. I hope the command names. Okay, choose 4. And this up below. Combine summon protein. Tricks. Nothing. Now I'm gonna have to make my choice.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
Yep. One more switch I didn't activate.
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
What's the last one? What's this one?
That's the last. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
This is so hard. Fuck it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that.
Awful body.
I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Body you. How bad? How bad did it affect? Oh, not that much. You are my tripping balls or? Guess I get it now since I'm already here. What up with the sad music? I feel bad. Oh no, they're all there.
Food's bound to spoil at this
I
rate.
don't know how much longer we'll last without power.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. What's on your mind?
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it.
Let's talk to Adelaide first. I'll just take it. Let us know. Oh, she's here.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. As long as Reed is still in Edgewater, I will not return. Those are my terms. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell them how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
I had a feeling it was that.
Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
This is messed up.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Adelaide's okay.
I think Thomas won't be as hard as Grace.
What happened? Sprat fell into a transformer again? I know, I'm trying to think.
One of us want to go see what happened?
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her. You know where to find me.
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again. Edgewater's not just a town to Adelaide. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with this colony. A big, heartless machine of metal and gears grinding workers down to dust. We're the closest thing Adelaide's got to a family. We go back to Edgewater, she's gonna feel betrayed. Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
Gotta fix things, make things right before I leave. Parvati, can I talk to you?
I think you did the rightest thing you could, sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise. People I care for, even if they care much for me.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat Saltuna here, and only Saltuna. Health is a state of mind, friend. Afflictions in one's body are reflections of afflictions in one's work ethic and attitude. Now listen, I do not know what pretty rhetoric Adelaide has fed you, but plagues are a simple fact of life. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
I guess I didn't have to cure him. It's not exactly bad, but the way he's running things is terrible.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs.
This is why I needed a high-level persuasion skill. So if worst comes to worst, I can just talk to them instead of having to kill them. I have to talk to Adelaide and company.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
What happened?
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. Adelaide said that? Was she sober at the time? I never imagined she'd step foot in Edgewater long as Reed ran the town. Something must have changed in Edgewater. Adelaide's good as family. If she's going back, so are we.
Never liked Reed much. Can't say I'm sorry he's gone.
Okay, finish this area. So I guess it's time to head to the ship. Finish this and end the stream here.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her driver? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
You can let Thomas handle it.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Welcome aboard.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. I got a captain. That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
Let's go.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. Something vexing you, Captain? Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town, much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
Alright, I'll be ending the stream here.